Um, yeah. Sexy boy. Well, I guess they're all sexy boy, isn't they?
Not Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I guess she doesn't count.
She had a sexy boy in her movie.
Right. It's every movie. They gotta have at least one. I mean, but hey, he got Mira in this movie. Oh, baby. Whew.
Is it Mira or is it Mara?
I thought it was Mira, but it could be Mara. I don't know. I can't remember I'd have to hear the pronunciation of the full name. I think that would make it a little more obvious.
I think she called because I'm pretty sure she said Amira was her name, but
Hmm.
then like she said you can call me Mara, and I was like that's whatever.
Dude, don't even start. This whole movie is nothing but what? What? Wait, matter of fact, when did this movie take place? By the way, it's Aquaman. We didn't say it out loud. If you guys are
Oh
here,
right, yeah.
um,
It's Whale Man. Um,
Whaleman, yeah, Fishman. He said you're a fish boy, right? Fishman.
Fish Man.
That shit was cool. I like that little
um,
line. Um,
uh, yes, Aquaman.
but when does
Um,
it take place?
after Justice League.
Okay, but he met Mira in Justice League.
Yes, but he didn't know her name.
Hmm. It seemed like they didn't know. Weird. Okay.
He did. He was like, yeah, well, whatever. I don't want no part of your stuff. I already, yeah. It seemed like he already knew her. He was just trying to wave her away. He just didn't know her name.
I guess it's possible. It just felt weird for a little bit. I wasn't sure. And then they're like, "Well, you
Maybe they
you
hadn't established. Maybe they didn't establish it in the. They weren't sure if they were gonna have him meet her in this movie.
right." Because they definitely
Or
because she was like, "You beat Steppenwolf." I said, "Wait a minute." Um, because
yeah,
then he talks about too in Justice League. He was like, "Yeah, I got a terrible relationship with my whole family and everything else." And then I'm like, "All right," but then he's like super friends with his dad, and then
yeah.
he loves his mom, and I was like, "Then where the fuck did that come from?"
His brother.
But he didn't know him. He never met him.
I don't. They probably didn't establish it, but like they weren't sure with Justice League at the time what they were
Right.
doing with Aquaman.
Makes sense. This whole movie was a little scuffed. And it definitely felt like cliche the movie for a while.
Oh,
Or
100%. It's Lion
trope
King.
the movie.
Um, it's Lion King. It's Black Panther. It's fucking
Oh,
Thor
I didn't.
Ragnarok.
I thought
But
that part was fine. Like the brother stuff was cool. I just meant
yeah,
like the way that they did all the small details.
you recognize the dad?
Dude, not at first. I said, man, his dad's kind of handsome. I said, wait a minute, that's Jango Fett. I
He
said,
also
oh
plays
baby.
Boba Fett in the Boba Fett show.
I was like, no wonder he was so handsome. um,
Oh,
but yeah, no, like they start off, and the first thing is like him like quoting some fucking ancient wisdom or a novel, and even I was like, already, dude, like the first seconds into the movie, I was like, two ships with no wind and no tide, they wouldn't move. How are they supposed to meet, Mister Jules Verne?
Jules Verne is a great author. You shut your
I don't
poor
give a
mouth.
shit. How the fuck are they supposed to meet?
Jules Verne is a great the tides. Um,
There's no tide. It said two ships in the ocean with no wind and no tide. They're destined to meet. I said, no, they won't. They won't move. That's not how physics works. But anyway,
they're,
so that shit
they're
was kind of
destined to
funny.
meet. No matter what, they will meet.
So they were
Uh,
doing this dramatic intro, and I was like, all right,
they're
whatever.
pushed by somebody, a force unknown. All right,
Sure.
that's what it is.
That's cool. I mean, I'm cool with it. I like it, but it's definitely was a little like cheesy.
I love
Um,
Jules Verne. You shut your mouth.
and then like the next thing too, like they break into the house and they step on the picture of the family. I said, "Oh no, their
Oh
family's gonna
yeah,
get
dude,
torn apart."
I died. I was like symbolism, Keely.
I said, "This means that it's the crack and break between their family." Oh no! I was like, "Oh
It's
come
gonna
on,
break his
dude."
family.
I was like, "Come on!" And then
Hey,
like,
you didn't find a hint of romantic, like romance in your body whenever the dad just, or when Arthur tells the mom he still goes to the end of the dock every day at sunset.
it was okay.
Oh
I
my
did
god, he,
when he told the mom, I was like, "Okay, that's kind of good." And she could tell she was like she had really good acting in that one.
oh.
But
I got tell my mom to watch this movie. She loved this movie. Uh,
and then too, like when he's like a little kid, I was like, just randomly, why is it that every superhero kid forever has to get beat up? He's just
Yeah.
sitting there, just at
Not
the
gonna lie,
aquarium.
that scene at the aquarium was useless as fuck. What did it do? Just say that? Oh, look, he can talk to fish. When later he does it anyway. So what's it matter?
Right. Now they tried to play it up because no one else can do that, right?
But he explains it later. Like whenever him and Mira like go inside the whale, he's like, "Well, I guess that's not a fish, but aquatic animal."
Right.
But like yeah, whenever he goes to touches the fucking whale on the fucking face, and he goes he starts talking to it. And she goes, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm talking to it." She's like, "What? You could do that?" Yeah. Like you didn't.
Right.
So we didn't need that scene at the aquarium at all.
Right.
It
I
was
did like the
useless.
shark attack. I thought that shit was cool. I was like, oh shit, that shark's
Oh yeah,
gonna
look at
fucking kill
that
him.
shark. That shark gonna fuck them up. Those kids
Yeah.
up. Stop
So
picking on
that-
my fish, boy.
Right. So
He's
that
my
part
friend.
was cool, but the rest of the scene, he's just chilling by himself and just two goons just yeah, get his ass, beat him, yeah. I was like, what?
It is tradition that anytime there's two bullies, you have to call them Bulk and Skull.
It was Bulk and Skull of this movie. And they just randomly grabbed his ass, put him on the ground, and started beating his ass. I'm like, what?
Now, if those kids were the bikers in the bar,
Dude, that
I
shit
think that
got me. The movie
that would've been
actually
cool.
got me. I said, you're serious? I was like, another people are gonna randomly, unprovoked, just try and beat his ass? He already did this as a kid. We get it. Everyone has to just hate superheroes forever. And then they turned into those guys. I said, oh my god, you got me.
yeah, I love part of his face was just like he wasn't about it initially, but then as the pictures went on, he was
Yeah.
having fun and drinking.
That shit was cool, dude. That really definitely personified fucking like Aquaman or Arthur for me. That was a really good scene. But yeah, and then he turns around after the whole fish thing. No one knew he was talking to those fish. Like realistically, maybe the two
Yeah.
kids making fun of him heard him talking, but that's
Yeah.
normal. Anybody would come here, little fishy, fishy. That's not
Right.
even like that's not even
Even the
uncommon.
bullies were doing it before him. They were banging on the glass. Come here, fish.
Right. So it's not even that was just yeah. First, them attacking him was unprovoked and really weird, but then finally, like the fucking everyone freaks out, but they just left him there. No adult in the room. Nothing was like, Harry, get back from the glass. Nothing. They just let this little kid would have just let him die to some shark that breaks out, and then when it's done, he turns around. These people have to be like 3-4 meters away. He turns around, opens his eyes dramatically and stares, and they all go, ah! How
Yeah,
could
that
they
was
even
a
see
that was a
his
trailer
eyes?
shot, so I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why they kept it in.
Because like, there's no way they see his eyes from that far away, and it's
That scene
nitpicky.
was so dumb.
But-
That scene was so well unnecessary. They could
Right.
have cut that out. But
And then I was like, how would they? And they acted as if like he was the one controlling them too. You wouldn't know that. Like, there's no indication for that.
right.
So yeah, this movie started off tropey as fuck and super cheesy and cliches everywhere, and I said, oh god, I'm not ready for this. And then it went into the notes are here. I don't because I don't. Here's a way to describe it. As I watched this, my notes turned into an episode of Cinema Sins. I said, Jesus, what have I become? Or what is this? Just the movie, or is this me?
It's just you. Embrace your inner cinema critic.
Like when the dude shows up on the sub, right? The next
Yeah.
thing, immediately after, the fucking Mantis shows up on the sub. He clearly had spent X amount of minutes getting his gear
That could have
properly
been the
fit.
scene after his mom got taken. I don't know. I feel like yeah, definitely. Like I'm still harping on that. That scene should have been cut with the fuck at the aquarium, and then just go straight to this.
Right,
Like go show exactly what he's doing now.
right.
But anyways, yeah, he's fighting the pirates or
No, not
Black
fighting.
Manta.
When they show up, they do all this shit. The dude has like this crazy complicated armor that I imagine is very difficult to get on to protect him from water and all kinds of shit. As soon as he gets on board, not even like 30 seconds in,
Takes the helmet
rips the tube out of the armor, decompresses the whole suit, and takes the helmet off. I'm like, what? Then why the fuck did you put it on? You clearly didn't need it. That guy didn't have a
off.
helmet
The
on.
actor needs to get his face in the movie so they know it's him.
It was just ridiculous. I'm like, so then why
So
put
that
a
Arthur
helmet
can
on?
see him, and then dude go, Dad, and he look back at him and look at him. That's your son.
It was just funny. And then he was like, they keep the captain alive. They bring in the
That's
captain.
one thing that always bothered me about superhero movies is they always have to rip the fucking helmet off or the mask off. They do
Right.
it in every superhero movie. They do it in Spider-Man, Iron Man. The first Iron Man.
That's what I'm saying. And then later on, he had his own Iron Man moment when he's in his fucking workshop making the helmet.
Yeah.
Even down to the T where the fucking thing malfunctioned, and then he had to like hide for a second, and then he had to make some adjustments. I was like, holy shit, dude. Come on.
I did laugh at the face he made whenever he was getting up from the table. It just gave me
it,
like
it was pretty
echoes of
funny.
like Chris Tucker. I don't know.
Right.
That shit was
Um,
hilarious. That face he made.
and then when they're in the hallway and he's giving him the fucking ceremonial blade from his great great grandpa, you're doing this now, like it just nothing.
Wait,
I was
what?
like, why?
Wait, what?
It was just
Oh
super
right,
like,
yeah. Inside the sub. Well,
yeah,
they didn't want to have two scenes with them.
right,
They just wanted to have the one, so he had to give him the blade. I mean, they could have, if they want, if to make it flow better, is have him and his dad fighting on the sub, and then him when he's doing the part where he's making the fucking Black Manta suit, and then he looks at the blade and has a flashback of his dad telling him about the blade and giving him the blade, but it's like outside of the mission at home or something.
right.
But
'Cause it
again,
didn't
that's
make
still
sense.
it's
Yeah,
still crazy two scenes. So I guess they didn't want to pay that actor for more than one fucking scene.
maybe. Speaking of that blade, it's pretty funny how it is regular, like just a regular blade, and then he stabs him with the Atlantis steel and says, "Yeah, I have Atlantean steel now, asshole." And then he
Yeah.
pulls out his grandpa's blade and then stabs him with the fucking blade. I'm like, what? So you just like it's magic now, like.
He coated the original. He melted down the original grandpa's blade and mixed it with Atlantean steel.
Sure, I'll allow it. We can't deny that. Sure. And then when Aquaman shows up on the sub, he fucking rips the thing off, lands, does a dramatic look, permission to come aboard, and the dudes just stare at him. Oh wait, that's a bad guy. We better shoot him. Like, what? And then how many seconds is it gonna take you to realize this motherfucker's here to kill us? Like, it should have been instant. That's why you were guarding the door.
There
It's like those Atlantis ladies. Or not the Atlantis, like the fucking Amazon ladies. They're guarding the box. Their mission in life is to kill anything that comes out of this box. Something comes out of the box, they just stare at it for a while. And then they attack. Like, what?
Gotta be dramatic.
Come on! That's just too much. At least for something that, like, it's set up like that, it's cool.
Anime time. You don't know.
You just have to write it in a way that makes it dramatic. Because, like, shit, all of, like, for example, Iron Man's entrances, they were made sense. Because it's dramatic and it's funny, and he would come flying from the heavens and land and have a witty line to say, because he thinks he's invincible. So it makes sense. Same thing for, like, Thor or somebody. Their entrances and the things that they do make sense, because they're arrogant, so they think they can talk shit or make witty whips, whatever the fuck, witty quips.
Witty whips.
Right. It makes sense. And Aquaman's character, I think it kind of makes sense. But the fact was, the guard should have just shot the fuck out of him. Like, that's the problem, not him. I think
He's somewhat bulletproof.
yeah, I think so, because he got stabbed, he got shot, I think
He got shot. Yeah, he got shot a few times, and it just pushed it back.
Right, because I know he's supposed to be like.
Yeah, he got shot with a fucking missile, and it just
Right.
it just had like a little bit of blast residue on his abs.
Right. Speaking of fucking stupidity, that motherfucker. And I love it though. It's in character, so I'm not saying it's a bad thing for the movie. It was actually really great. But that motherfucker shot a grenade in a tiny ass room full of missiles.
Yeah.
Stupid motherfucker, dude. Oh, that shit was funny though. I like that a lot because that's what people would do in real life. You know what I mean? So that was a really cool moment for that character. Dude, I love it though. He said, "It looks like a man. That's not a man." And then I thought, for fucking Kaiba, it's a god.
Yeah.
Oh man, that shit was funny. Yeah, the whole fight scene was cheesy. Let's see.
Yeah.
But I did, dude. The ending though, holy! I like as soon as Aquaman left,
When
I
Mensch
was like,
dead.
yeah, I was like, are these the good guys? I care so much. What the fuck?
Shit, he already gave him a chance when he said, "Is that your son?" And he took he pulled the sword out or the fucking lance out of his fucking shoulder or whatever staff, whatever the fuck he threw at him. Spear,
Right.
that's the word.
It's
and
true.
then he just dropped him. He said, "You should take I can't remember what he said, but he said he should be a better father, should be a better example or some shit." And he started climbing the ladder. He let them live.
Right.
And then the motherfucker had the fucking nerve to shoot at him. That was his own fault.
It's true. He did get.
He
got
already
what's coming
spared
to
him once, and then they're back. He was like, "No, you have to save him." Bitch, I already gave him a chance.
Right. I tried. Shit.
It was like fucking Goku giving Frieza energy, and then he still fucking blasted him.
Literally, what I was about to say. That was the first thing that comes to mind. It's like, here you go. Here's some energy. Don't die. "Fuck you, monkey!"
You fool!
Right? What's wrong with you? At least like take the energy and go recover to make a later plot to go kill him in the future.
Right? Oh my god. But now we're just gonna shoot this grenade at you in a fucking room full of missiles or torpedoes, and then fucking, or a fucking small metal tube that's fucking could potentially have water flood it.
Right?
Oh my god. Yeah.
That
and then he
shit was
died.
funny. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I was believable. Black Manta's like hatred for Aquaman. But
Right.
I swear, man, it got a little annoying when he was like, killing him is enough. He said that what 3 times?
Right.
For someone was gonna offer him money, and he was like, killing Aquaman's enough. The
Right,
reward
right.
is killing Aquaman. All right, I get it, but you need money.
Right.
to
Shit. Take the money.
take the money and make better weapons.
Speaking of, I don't think he's dead. I don't know. Like they just kind of like he flew
Oh,
off
the
screen.
the post credit scene. He washed ashore, and
Oh, they had a post credits. Fuck, I didn't know they
yeah.
were doing that.
It's alright. He didn't miss too much. It's just he floated. He was on some driftwood, floated on shore, and then the. Did you notice the conspiracy theorists on the news? Did you notice the actor?
Yeah, there was the doctor. Not the doctor. It was Kim Jong Un from the interview.
Was he Kim Jong Un? I don't even remember who. Oh, he
Yeah.
was. Holy crap! Yeah, no, but I was gonna say he was Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
The fucking the agent that was assigned to Ant-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
That
but
guy's
anyway,
funny. He runs in. He said, "We got you now." He comes upstairs. He's just sitting
yeah,
there.
he was also in. Yeah, he was in WandaVision too. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but he's the one that because he got dismissed or whatever, and they mentioned that he got kicked out of the universities and stuff like that. But he's the one who finds Black Manta, and he says, "This is Atlantean tech. Where did you get it?" And it showed like they're gonna work together
Oh, cool.
in the next movie, I guess.
That's,
That was
that's not
that's
too
pretty
bad.
much the end credit. Yeah, Black Manta was alive.
I knew he was coming back anyway. It was too tropey. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. The way he flew off, I was like, we didn't see him die. He's coming back.
He's his arch enemy, isn't he? Or is
Um,
he? Or is it not?
I don't know. I actually haven't read a lot of the recent stuff. And when I was a kid
Yeah.
reading Aquaman, it was just like reading as a kid.
I know there was
don't
a lot
remember
of
that.
like, was it hate or was it that people liked him over Ocean Man? I can't remember. I can't remember the consensus when this movie came out. If it was, I remember one of them was universally like everyone was like, "Oh, why did they do him like that?" And the other one was like, "Oh, that was pretty good actually." So I can't remember if it was Ocean Master or if it was Black Manta, but I think Black Manta was the one that everybody liked.
Probably
actually.
because he was cool. I mean, and his character was pretty well acted. So I think yeah, the Ocean Master was just weird. I don't really know him. I've never read his comics, so like his run, I guess, is the bad guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know him personally, but I definitely know that he felt really weird as a bad guy. And I
The
imagine
new
he
Aquaman
was
comes out this year.
cool. But I imagine
December?
he's a lot
Yeah.
cooler in the comics.
Comes out December 20th of this year.
Because he just looked like there were some scenes he did look kind of cool, but definitely some scenes he just looked cheesy. Right.
Anyways, Aquaman.
Uh,
We all right. Seeing he left the sub, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
he
then
goes
the
to
next
drinking
thing
with
you
his
see is,
dad, right?
now the next is like the mounts. Coolest thing. I said those shark mounts are way cooler than the fucking seahorse
What?
mounts.
What? You don't like the seahorses?
They're okay, but look at the fucking shark mounts. I said, oh
It's okay.
baby,
I like Aquaman's mount by the end of the movie.
hell
that
yeah,
big
the
giant monster.
Crockamundo.
Big giant kraken thing.
Right. I think yeah, something. It has like a what the fuck is that?
I don't know what it is.
When it showed up, I said that's the Kraken, but then like the subtitles actually saved it. It's the Krakethian or whatever.
Yeah, the Krakethian.
I was like, oh, it's that thing. It's the one he
The
talked to under-
Krakethan.
Yeah. I was like, it's that guy.
Yeah.
It's cool that they made friends.
I like that it was like, you talk to me? Oh, right. His face talking is important.
Right. I thought that was kind of cool. And it was funny that wasn't even like the judgment. Like the
like
giant
that was his
monster was
thing,
just there
yeah.
as like a precaution.
The giant monster was like, you talk? Yes, Fred, social activity!
Right. That shit was funny. But yeah, it wasn't even the real test. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like, usually it's like, oh, anybody can just come grab it if they can get past the monster. But not really. The monster's just there just to fuck with people.
Nah, he's King Arthur. He
I get
got
it.
pulled the sword from the stone.
That shit was funny. At least they admitted that.
Right,
Like,
that was the beginning of the movie.
I was like, okay, cool. I'm cool with it. But no, when he ripped open, when his brother ripped open that sub, that shit was fucking cool.
Right?
Um,
Oh, dude, the
that scene
underwater
was
scenes are hella good. I want to know how. I want to see how they filmed those.
that'd be
Um,
cool, yeah.
I know it's definitely not underwater. But like the hair, like how do they make the hair do that? That's so cool.
Right, right. All
Um,
the movements, everything. It looks very, natural.
yeah.
But yeah, that fucking thing was. But it was so funny how obvious it was. I was
Hmm.
like, it's a setup. And then I was like, did anyone go check the sub? Did they try and interrogate whoever was in it?
He
Did they
said,
just
"I don't like meeting this close to the surface." Immediately gets attacked by surface dwellers.
right?
No, uh,
Like completely
uh,
unprovoked, unmarked sub,
uh,
everything, and then they never like. Did you never investigate who sent the sub? Did you not? Well, anything? Nope.
no,
They
nope.
just he let it fly down and sink to the
Dolph
ocean.
Lundgren doesn't care.
That shit was funny, dude. But it is funny. Even his daughter makes like talk shit. She was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it was all too convenient, wasn't it? But you're not that gullible, are you?" I was like, "Damn," calling him out.
Oh
Um,
my god.
but dude, yeah. What's the next? Then Mira shows up. I said, "Oh baby, who is this with the titties hanging out?" um,
Yes, that is
but
Mira with the
let's see.
beautiful face.
Why did Velcro help him as a kid? Just because he liked
Volko?
his mom?
He's friends with Aquaman, Arthur's mom, I
I thought
guess.
so. Because I was like, why is he even helping him at all? It didn't make sense.
Yeah, he's I guess he's friends with his mom. I don't know exactly. Like she's the queen, right?
Right. And he was the
It,
vizier.
and no, I was about to say like she's the queen, right? And her husband was some other guy. He wasn't the king of Atlantis, right? She was the queen of Atlantis, and he married her, and that's why Arthur has a claim.
I
So
never thought about that.
why the hell does he have the power to banish her?
Right. That doesn't make sense, is it?
That did bother me, like the entire movie.
Well, unless it's
Unless
like one
it's,
of those things where he was like just from a rich royal family, and since it's like only like the maleocracy, then pretty much
yeah,
that she
like
lost all her rights.
yeah, she lost all her rights whenever she got married to him, but it's her bloodline that leads to the um heirs.
Right, right.
That's stupid, but yeah.
That makes sense. That's some shit you see in real life too.
Not true. It in all like monarchies, whoever has the blood is the monarch. The queen. There's been several queens of England that have been married, and they never had to relinquish their title to their husbands.
Oh, really?
They were the queen consort is what they're called. They're technically not called kings. They're called the queen consorts.
Right. That's
So like
cool.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Uh,
That's like revisionist, like feminist revisionist history that a lot of people learn.
that's funny. Dude, I like how they retrofit a training montage in this movie
I
for
would
a
say
character.
we didn't revere her the Queen of England's husband, right? We just called him the Queen of England's husband. We never called him the King of England.
That's true. It always is the queen, right? Long live the
Well, but it's not
queen.
always the Queen, but she's the one that has the
Well, I guess in our
um
lifetime is what I mean. Like,
yeah, she's the one that has the claim, not him. So she's the queen and he's her consort.
right?
He's called the Duke. He's called Duke Philip.
Dang,
So
cool.
because he's I don't know, he's from fucking some other European country. I forget where, because that still had a monarchy whenever she married him. And so yeah, whatever.
Ah, they're gonna bring the lands together.
No, technically no, because he was like a third son or some shit. But um, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah, that shit was annoying me that she was the one that has the bloodline, but she doesn't have the power. I'm like, really? Why? Why is
Right,
that the case? Why is she getting banished? This is stupid, but it's
right.
fine.
Especially because she had been the ruler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and how did she arrange? She would have arranged her own marriage.
I think her father did. Probably
Oh,
would have.
got
The
you. That makes
case
sense.
was
Yeah, he would have been king at the time.
Queen Atlanta.
Wait, she's Queen Atlanta? I thought that was the original one.
No, she's Queen Atlanta. Queen Atlan is the original king.
Uh, I wonder if it's the same family.
Yes, because he was the original king of Atlantis, and she is his descendant.
How many years ago do you think that was? Like 1,000?
I think they said 1,000 in the
That's
movie.
usually a pretty good generic number.
I think they said 1,000.
Knowing how tropey this movie is, I wouldn't be surprised.
And the prophecy about the like putting it in the hands of the king, whatever, and the like whatever, blah blah blah. Like they mentioned King Romulus, so it had to be after Rome was established, because Romulus is like the first king of Rome.
Right.
So it had to be at least when after it should have like fell after Rome was established.
That doesn't make sense though if you listen to when he talks about the technology. It was like, yeah, we had the world's most advanced technology, perpetual energy, while other people were still mashing sticks together or some shit.
They don't know. People don't know history.
That's just funny. I was like,
Well, I mean, well, he
interesting.
said other civilizations, not all civilizations.
Yeah, maybe that's
When
true.
Rome became a civilized nation, there were still some civilizations that were still in the Stone Ages.
That
Uh,
makes sense. Where did all
there
these
were still
places
some.
live, though? Like, he talks about all these different places. He was like, oh, yeah, there's so many kingdoms of the sea.
Oh no, there's 7 kingdoms of Atlantis, and they all fell into the sea. So they're all part of Atlantis.
Oh, were they?
Um, yeah, but
Oh,
they
because.
that the I think because like the original tale of Atlantis, there it was actually a mega city made of like 7 cities, um, and so each city fell and then I guess floated away into a different part of the ocean. Uh,
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking, I was like, would anyone not have seen this? Anybody on a boat? If there's fucking 7 gigantic nations, like they talk about the
I
Sahara
will say the
Desert
trench people. Has no one been attacked by the trench people? I don't
ever,
know. But it's the DC universe, whatever. Like,
or the
yeah.
Sahara Desert. That's a pretty big fucking place. That was
What?
all Atlantis one, or all like whatever they were called, whatever their
Oh,
people were.
the underground, under the sand, all the yeah.
Yeah.
That's from like there's I think it was a recent thing that people found this like weird volcanic structure and they call it the Eye of the Sahara. It looks really cool and it's probably the inspiration for Atlantis.
Oh,
For
that's
like
cool.
one of those Greek philosophers probably stumbled upon it and then was like, "Ooh, this looks cool," and it kind of looks how Atlantis is described, but it's a volcanic formation, not a actual
Oh, I see.
potential city. But there's still people who are like, "Nah, they're lying."
But yeah, it was pretty funny. Because it is. I'm glad they did show you the one scene because like, um, they were like, yeah, this is this. What do you need this bridge? It's a remnant from the old days. I'm like the
That
old
was cool.
days. Was there just no
Yeah,
water?
when they're above the
Right. I
sea.
didn't know that because I was just thinking like they've always been underwater.
But you know the legend of Atlantis, it sunk into the sea.
I can't remember that, dude. I'm too old.
Did
Um.
you watch the Disney movie Atlantis?
Uh. It's been years. I actually forgot about it.
It got sunk into the sea.
But those weren't flying machines. Those are still swimming machines, weren't they? No, they were flying
They
machines.
were flying machines. They ran into the buildings and stuff whenever
Oh
like
yeah.
the
So I
thing
guess
backfired.
never mind. Yeah, I guess it checks out. Uh, but yeah, no. So but yeah, there's fucking technology. I thought was we'll get there.
It was a
Um,
little advanced, a little too advanced, but whatever, it's
but
fine.
they retrofit a training montage into an already established character,
Yeah,
which I thought was funny. Um, like the
come on,
other
it's
one was
like
cool. Him and
well,
Velcro. When he,
I think they were trying to establish Volko's like
yeah, Volko.
yeah, like Volko's relationship with him. Like, oh yeah, he's been with him throughout the years.
No, that was
His-
cool, but it was just funny
yeah.
where it showed up because it's like Mira takes him there, and
Yeah,
then we have like a weird, awkward flashback, and then she's kind of training him. It looked for a second, but then she's
yeah.
not. But then it's a flashback. I was like, "What? Did you guys just have to put a training montage? You know, we didn't need this, right?"
You had to tell him, oh yeah, you don't know how to swim like us. You're not one of us. He's like, Volko took me here many years ago, and so they had to they wanted to show off the sick transitions. That movie had a bunch of sick transitions.
Yes, it did.
So visually, like sick transitions. So.
Right. I liked the second montage though, when he was like, "Do you remember?" And like
Oh
before
yeah.
he was doing the Ring of Fire, he said, "I remember everything." I said, "Oh, babe, he fucking chucked that spear in his chest." I said, "Oh my god, he's gonna kill him."
Uh,
That shit was cool. Do you ever see how Arthur looks cross-eyed in a few shots?
yeah.
I thought he was cross-eyed for half the movie, and maybe not that bad, but there was plenty of shots. I said, "What? What's going on?" Like, I guess his contacts
Maybe
weren't
he's
aligned.
cross-eyed. Oh yeah, maybe possibly. Donut, what do you want? Hello.
Because it was only really in the scenes with the orange.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. Or they're
But
doing that with special effects instead of contacts.
maybe yeah.
And that's what
Uh,
potentially did it.
But well, I guess we made it there chronologically. When Atlantis fell, he said, "Yes, it fell, and our people they either evolved or devolved or this and this." And I was like, "In the 30 seconds before you drowned, like, what kind of technology you got?"
It was Coca-Cola. Have you ever watched Futurama?
No.
Oh.
Well, I've seen a few
When-
episodes, but not like
Well, there's
religiously.
an episode where they find the lost city of Atlanta, and
Oh, when he was gonna
Well-
bang the fish, and he said, "Let's
Yeah.
do it." She says, "All right, now release your sperm."
they were
and I'll go
like
ahead and put
their
the eggs."
reasoning was like the Coca-Cola plant, but with like all the Coca-Cola mixed with the seawater, and it went into their body, and it like sped up the evolution process.
That shit
Sure.
was just funny though. Yeah, because he
Sure.
shows humans. They were just regular humans. They fell into the ocean and looked like they were dying and
They
getting
turned into
crushed.
fish people. Why can't we just establish that they're fish people and just leave it at that? Leave it. Atlantis is just a city that is underwater and it's not didn't have to fall and
Right.
like
Just think about like we evolved on land. They
yeah
evolved in the ocean. That's it.
yeah.
Nothing more.
I don't know. Nah, they magically evolved into fish people because of
Instantly because of the
yeah
technology.
because of the trident malfunctioning.
Which
It
is
dragged
funny.
their society into the ocean, and it gave them the ability to evolve instantly
Which
and
is hilarious.
adapt
The
to the water.
trident malfunction. The fuck does this
Yeah,
trident even do? They poured some like they had a rudimentary rock casket thing that they just
it's magic.
or mold.
It's
that they
magic
just...
rock. It's a magic mold.
No,
It
it's
makes
not.
magic.
It was just a regular mold. What do they do?
You don't know that. It made a magic trident.
Now they do have magic. I think
Also,
Mira's
the
magic.
thing that bothers me is they keep calling every single one of those spears a trident. I'm like, that's a quindent. It's got 5. It's got 5 points. Stop calling it a trident.
That's a quindent. That's a quadrant.
That's what they call. That's a trident because it has 3. There's a bident
Right.
that has 2. There's a
Right. Now that's just funny. I didn't think about that.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
man.
your mother's trident. That's a quindent. It's got 5. It's got 5 points on it. Whatever.
Nah, I like when they're getting caught, like the fucking the dudes in the red armor show up. I said
Yeah.
I can tell he's special because his armor's a different color and he brought a melee weapon to a gunfight.
All right, so can those dudes not survive without water? Is that what those guys?
Yeah, she said something. She said only the highborn can breathe water and air.
Yeah.
So then like you see the different ones like the
Yeah.
fish,
Okay, yeah, she did
whatever
say
they're
that,
called, the
yeah.
fish people. Then there's the
Yeah.
crab people. Those are my favorite.
The crab people. My favorite are the trench people. So I don't.
Ew, you would,
They're cool.
you would. This is
Also, that's
gross.
some of the coolest scenes when they're underwater being chased by the trench people.
It did look really good, like the cinematics and stuff. Like
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they first went under, I said, "There's fucking thousands of them."
He's controlling the trench people. Impossible.
That shit was funny too. Oh my god, that battle scene was fucking cool too.
The fucking fish people, were they just called the fishermen?
Yeah, that was funny. They called them the fishermen because they were more fishy. I love it. I was like, then they called the other one like the fuck.
What was the crab people called?
Shit.
I remember. Because there's only like 3. There's only like 2 humanoid ones. The Atlanteans and whatever Mera is.
Oh yeah, because they're like they're a different place, aren't they?
Yeah. He's the King Nearest.
Right. The crab people are my favorite though. They were fucking had all the cool armor. They just look cool, and the dude gets pinned down.
What did he say? He had a really cool line that he said to.
Yeah, he said, "You can take my army, but I will never bow to you." I said, "Oh my god, hell yeah, dude, motherfucker's hard ass."
Who is the crab dude? That's so. He was cool.
Right? Let's see. Did you see the pros and cons on the screen before they fought?
No, I don't think I read those.
They had a digital thing, and it was like pros, empty, and then cons, half blood, piece of shit, garlic. They just had all these fucking things, and then
Oh,
dudes.
James
like,
Wan directed this one too. Oh well. Whoops.
interesting. But yeah, then other dudes was like all the pros. It was like handsome,
Yeah.
the king, the greatest person. Like this is fucking great.
That's hilarious.
But
Did you notice who played Ocean Master? He looked way younger than he should.
well, he's the younger brother.
Yeah, I know, but the actor's older than Jason Momoa.
Oh, we don't care about that.
Yeah.
Acting just does magic, and we don't even worry about that.
It was the owl from Watchmen.
Oh yeah. Now that because I knew I'd seen his face. Who is this fucker? I just saw him. I would have never got that, but I knew he was familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he definitely. I don't know if it's the actor, his face, or the way they portrayed him. I definitely didn't like his character too much. I just didn't get enough from him, I guess. I never felt like... I take it back. In the end, he really came together in the very end when he sees his mom and like has the little breakdown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shit, dude. And then when he has the moment when dude's talking to him, when Arthur's talking to him before the Ring of Fire, he said, there was a time I really wanted to meet you, and I thought we could share stories about how we'd be together and shit. And I was like, aw. And you saw him like hesitate, and I was like, dang. He's just a regular boy who just wants to make Atlantis good. But then, like, he would immediately after just be like some maniacal fucker killing everybody trying to wage war.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, No, like he just felt shitty and stereotypical through most of the movie.
He wanted to get revenge on the humans for uh polluting the ocean.
No, he didn't.
That's what he said.
He no, he
He did.
just like he said that, but he didn't care about that shit. That wasn't like an
Yeah.
ongoing motivation.
If he kills the humans, they can't pollute our oceans anymore.
Sure. Dude called him out from the very beginning. He said, "You just want this and this and this so you can become the master commander of the seas." He said, "It's just a title, no big deal." Yeah, right. That fucker just wanted to be in charge because he has little man syndrome because he always feels undermined because he knows he's not the
Yeah.
true king.
Yeah.
Which is
Uh,
that's a good plot line to have, but they just
yeah.
definitely didn't play it
I
up.
feel like they teetered that line between those two rather than just go all in on one or the other.
Right, I think it's
Uh,
better to do one, right? Because then it makes more sense with his motivations,
yeah.
like on either side. Because there were times it just didn't make sense. Like I don't know, yeah, and his like how evil he was kind of fluctuated. But there were
Yeah.
times I'm like, he's not that bad, and then he does some fucked up shit. I'm like, wait, he's a piece of shit, and like I was like, well, I don't understand. Um, so maybe he could have done a little bit better, but overall, it wasn't like terrible. And he had really some good moments, but I like when they're running from him though. He says, "Bogey's on our six." What does that even mean? Bad guys behind
Bad guys
us.
behind us.
Why didn't you say that? Bad guys behind us. Oh my
Uh,
god. Did them when they're getting out of the water though? The fucking Baywatch scene. Did you see that shit?
yeah.
Oh my god. Why?
He was on Baywatch.
It was like the music was playing. They're just dramatically walking slowly out of the water. I said, "What the fuck is this, dude?"
He was in Baywatch. Jason Momoa.
I don't care. This movie's so tropey. I just like, come on.
About when they're in the plane. Did you like that scene where she's like, all right, we're here. And then
Yeah.
fucking just fucking jumps out.
It says she ripped off the door too.
Yeah. She jumped out. Didn't even have a parachute.
Right.
Redheads.
Right. That shit's
That was
funny.
a
Then the
trailer
goat,
shot.
after he jumps out, the goat looks at the pilot, then looks back at the door, like, what the fuck, dude? Just even like the goat's acting was great. Like that little scene was awesome. I do like their dialogue too. They're like sitting there
Narrows
talking. Yeah, when they're sitting there talking, everything after the point where they were on the plane together, up
Yeah.
until like Italy, even the fight with Mantis, maybe even to the end of the movie was great.
Yeah.
I think really the moment that those two left the city, the movie got like 10 times better. Like holy shit, it was good. Like the little things went back and forth. Like she's
You
aggressive
didn't like
as
the scene
fuck.
where she was eating the flowers?
Dude, my favorite. Holy shit, that shit was so good. Cause I don't know, it was off the back too of her like talking shit about the surface and everything else and having this
She
misconception.
doesn't know what those are.
No, but that was great, right? Because she smells them,
Yeah.
she's like, wow. But then she sees like bread and food and wine. She sees all these things people are selling, and this smells super delicious and it looks like plants. She just fucking
Right.
eats it, and then he watches. He's like, she was so innocent, dude. She just looked so happy. Like it's delicious. You want one? He just smiled and ate it. I said, dude, he ate it. No. Oh my god, that shit was so good. Then she's like hanging out with the little kid, did like the little dolphins for him.
Yeah.
Just that shit was so good, yeah. And then those two relationship, she's like talking shit in the sand. She's like about to kick his ass for something. He's like, "Whoa there, Fight Club, take it easy." Then when he starts describing the world, he said, well, "The world's pretty good. We got forests and beautiful lakes. You'd love them. They're like little baby oceans." She said, "I'm gonna kick your ass."
Oh my
Oh,
god,
man.
that was funny. Little baby oceans.
That shit was good, dude.
Oh, he knows a bunch of language, like just a little bit of every language. He's like, "Miss Scusi."
Right, because he's been traveling the seas, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
That shit was fucking cool. I did like when that one dude, when they were fighting in Italy, and the fucking like the one dude, she jumps on the roof. He
Yeah.
goes after her and falls through.
He still chases her. He gets a shot from underneath. That was cool. It was some fucking siege right there.
Right? I was like, dude, who's that fat fuck? And the other two dudes behind him watched it happen, so they used their boosters.
Yeah.
That shit was.
That
cool.
that was actually pretty funny. Yeah, because he fell in. The other was like, "Oh, we're using our boosters to slow down. We're not falling through."
Right. But yeah, and it stopped being tropey after that too. Like
Yeah.
literally everything before when they went to like the desert, it was just trope city everywhere. I was like so predictable. I could fucking like just breathe it in. I was like, it's too easy. But then like half my notes after that, it was like when she said, "Yeah, what did he say?" He said, "I'll be right back. I'm gonna go do something," and she was left there alone. I said, "Here
Hmm.
it comes. She's gonna get kidnapped or beat up, and someone's gonna like blindside her." And it never happened. And I was like, "Wait." Um,
Way.
and then what do you call it?
She can take care of herself. She's a strong, independent woman.
And then after
Uh,
that, she got beat up. I said she's gonna get kidnapped, and then the bad guy's gonna have her in the trenches, gonna throw her off into the abyss, and he's gonna have to show up last minute when she's falling down or something. And then it never happened either. I was like, ooh, here we go. So definitely, it led up on some of the tropes towards the end, which is cool. They still had the superhero guy falls into a regular person's home,
yeah.
which I don't know. I'm not tired of it. I'm cool with it.
I didn't
It's
even think of that one as a trope. I was like, I don't even like.
it's in
Even
every
think of
superhero movie now. It seems
it.
like.
Definitely is. I didn't even think about that till you said it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's happening.
But I don't mind it. Like I can identify it now that it's in every movie, but it never gets old because the look on their face is like, what the fuck? Or like when they get mad. That's the good ones. Like they fall into somebody's house and they get pissed and like some try fucking yelling at them.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? Yeah, that whole fight scene was really cool. Especially Aquaman versus Dude Bro. Mantis, like, he was really well animated, really well done in those fights. Or I don't know if it was live action or what, but the suit looked really
Yeah.
cool.
It's live action. I think the
Um,
suit is actual. They have an actual suit.
It looked really good. So that
Yeah.
shit was cool. I like when he wakes up. They said, "Where'd you get this boat?" Um, aren't all the boats in the marina free for people to use? No, they belong to someone. She's a boat
She doesn't
thief.
know.
No, she doesn't. That's what's so funny, dude. I love it. Unintentional boat thief.
Yeah. Then they get chased by the trench people, and
Right.
then they go into the little the cool scene with the trench people, and then then they go into the weird lightning storm underwater.
That shit was cool. I said, "Whoa, the fuck is that cool shit?" And then it was over. I said, "Oh, they could have made it like."
They went through it, and it teleported them into the center of the earth.
Which is weird. But magic. Um, I like
yes.
the scene right after that when his mom first shows up. Also, second of all, or first of all, before we get there, he gets there, he sees what looks like a fish monster going for her body, and he just shouts her name a couple times while slowly walking towards the shore.
Yeah.
Could he not have shown any sort of like get up and go, like get your hands off her, like running something? Nothing.
He felt that was his mother, and he
No,
had
he
to
didn't.
stop.
That's why he was calling her name. That's why he looked concerned. This motherfucker.
He didn't know. He wasn't sure.
Sure, I guess that's what you do when you're not sure if a monster is going to kill your new girlfriend.
Well, his girlfriend, she's betrothed to his brother.
No. He knew. They were setting that shit up so thick. Even since they first met, you could tell she wanted it.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
She don't want nothing to do with no half breed.
Sure, she did. And he wasn't about it at first, but then after a couple scenes, it was over. By the time they made it to Italy, it was over.
It was the flower scene.
Yeah, he was invested. As soon as it was like, he said, "She's adorable." But yeah, no. When he does walk up to her, she like starts to walk towards him, and he does like a half step back, like a flinch.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was really fucking good. It was super subtle, but man, it was so good because like he's never seen her since he was a small child and thinks she's dead. So I don't even know if he thought that was her. He might have thought it was a fucking stranger and couldn't process it. So when she starts to approach, he backs up real quick, like, "Oh no, don't fucking come near me, lady."
I don't know how old he was when she left, but I definitely don't
like
think he has
6.
any memories. No, he was tiny.
I think so. I thought he was like 4 to 6.
He was maybe 3.
I think so.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, he might have. He was pretty young. And I was wondering that when I watched that scene, I said, "Is he old enough to remember who she was or what she looked like?"
Probably not. Who knows? I can IMDb and find out how
Right.
old he was supposed to be right there.
Not
But,
important.
Yeah.
But what do you call it?
True.
So yeah, then he does the cool monster thing, which that was a cool scene. We kind of touched on that.
Yeah.
But then he gets the outfit. Oh baby. When he busted out of that waterfall and he had the outfit on, I said, "Woo!"
Yeah, the classic.
Oh my god, I was all about it, dude. That was the best fucking scene. And the rest of the movie was awesome. Because then we get the cool crab people, the big battle, the kraken, and then they had the smooch. Ooh,
Yeah, he was 3. He was 3 whenever she left.
Oh, I see.
So
it was
maybe vague tiny, maybe like one vague memory potentially, because
The hair color would have given it away.
yeah,
It'd be easier to remember that, I think.
yeah,
That's non-standard hair color.
yeah.
Dude, you know what's
Wait, I
funny though?
thought she
In my
was blonde.
notes,
Was she not blonde?
no, she was white hair.
Oh.
Dude, I like at the very reminds me of the very beginning though. When she wakes up, she said, "Oh, they left me some
He eats
snacks."
the fish.
Yeah.
Don't eat my dog.
She's looking for snacks, and she thought that was like just someone left like a fruit bowl out.
Right.
Oh my god, that shit was funny, dude.
It's also really funny because like Arthur grows up to like fish and not like eat them. He just talks to them,
Right?
and she just eats them.
That shit is funny. But yeah, then they went back to a little bit of tropey at the end. The climactic battle with the thunder and lightning, and it's all dark, and the brothers do this battle.
Some things never get old, Trey. I'm sorry.
It does get old. I don't need that. Let them fight. I don't. I forgot. You had him in your element this time. Okay, whatever. But they were underwater in the middle of the ocean, so there was no actual land. So they had to fight on a fucking ship. I said, all right, whatever. It could have been done differently. I don't know. Maybe I'm just griping. Maybe I'm just a jaded old man. But then,
You are
as
a
soon as
jaded
the
old
fight's
man.
over and the mom
Stop yelling
shows
at the
up,
clouds.
the heavens parted.
She's a goddess.
No! She's a regular old Atlantean, and it was fucking thunder and lightning, and everyone gonna die to like a hurricane. And as soon as
Call her
she
old.
shows up,
She's not old. She's a young lady.
oh whatever. It's fucking. As
She's
soon
only a
as she
140-year-old
shows up
woman.
and the fight's over, and the fucking heavens part, and the sun shines through directly on her, I said, "All right, dude, too much,
What?
too fucking much."
What?
But they did finally pay off the one thing I was waiting for the entire movie since they showed it in the beginning. The fucking spin move.
Yeah.
I was waiting and waiting and waiting for that fucking spin move. Like when he was fighting the first time the Ring of Fire, I said, all right, now's your chance. Do the spin move and kick his ass. And then he didn't do it. I said, oh, he'll do it later. Then he comes... Huh?
You're like fucking doing fucking what's that damn movie? The Karate Kid.
Yeah, pretty much. And then like literally it goes later, and like when he's riding in, and like someone comes to attack him when he's riding the Kraken, I said, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do the spin move, but it's gonna be huge, like Kraken size, because he has the super spear. And then he just talked to all the fish and made him attack. I said, oh, wait. Like I had just been waiting, and then finally, I said, you have one last chance, you stupid movie. If you don't do this fucking spin move, I'm giving this movie a 4 out of 10.
They have to do the spin move. They set it up earlier.
Right. But I didn't know. It was so late in the movie. I said, this movie's almost over. He's never going to do it. And then he did it. And it was fucking cool. He even did it with one hand and spun it around. I said, ooh, it's even better.
He did that cool bow staff move.
Nunchuck skills, bow staff skills. Girls don't like guys with good skills. That shit was cool though. So yeah, I think that the latter half of this movie, and definitely any bit that it was just Mira and Aquaman on screen, was really good. But the first half was very tropey and not very interesting. Neither one of the villains were very interesting. They weren't bad. Like I did like anytime Manta was on screen in his suit was really fucking cool. But the way that they were introduced was kind of weird and just didn't. I don't know. They didn't feel connected or related. For most of the movie.
They're working together.
I guess, but it still felt like...
Also, like, I think that was a really dumb line when Ocean Master was like, hey, I want you to kill my brother. I can't do it personally because Atlantis will be mad. But you send your guards with him, and you don't think they're still gonna know?
Right. Well, not just that, too. He's literally waging war.
I'll let you have my personal guard. Bruh.
He killed the Fishman King.
Did he kill him?
Yes, he stabbed him in the fucking chest and threw his body away. And then he said,
"Oh,
now,
right.
princess."
Oh, the fisherman. I thought we were talking about the brine, the lobster guy.
No. Yeah, the fisherman.
The fisherman king.
I was like,
And
what
then
the fuck? So he's clearly been on a fucking rampage and waging war against everybody and killing whoever he feels like. Why the fuck would they care if he killed the half-blood they hate?
Yeah.
No sense. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he already was planning, and that's what's funny. He has plans to send his platoon to retrieve Mira.
Right.
They can just kill Aquaman
kill
while they're
Mira.
there.
He wanted to kill Mira. He was like, nah, I'm done with this bitch. He didn't want Nearest to know, so he lied. said retriever, but then he told his dudes to kill her.
Right, but we did know that they were being sent out, is what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's like, well, if we know that they're sending goons, then Atlantis knows you're sending goons. Like, and if they don't know, then they wouldn't know if they killed Aquaman anyway. So what? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. None of this logic plan pans out. Not a huge deal, but it was kind of weird.
yeah.
Yeah, I think overall it does. I honestly think you could have done better without Manta.
In the movie.
Yeah, which is weird because I like him as a bad guy better than Ocean Master, but
Yeah.
I think overall the story would have been better for it because then you could have given Ocean Master better lines. You could have introduced even like maybe a henchman if you want, or some other like Atlantean tied bad guy who's working with Ocean Master maybe. Because then the plot would have been a lot more connected. Because like when he showed back up middle of the movie and was talking to Ocean Master, I was literally like, what the fuck? He's still in this movie? He just came out of nowhere to me. I was like, what's he doing here? And I get in the beginning, he was like, damn you, Scuba Steve.
I guess that they still had to set up him getting Atlantean tech, but I guess they could have done it in another movie that he gets introduced in, that he like finds Atlantean tech.
Right,
But
right. It wouldn't have been hard, and it should just
yeah,
make him a piece of shit, right? I'm a piece of shit pirate, and I'm gonna go steal stuff, and then he gets Atlantean tech to go do so. That was his introduction in this movie.
yeah,
We had a mysterious disappearance of the world's most advanced underwater tech.
yeah,
All right, cool. That's one way to tell me what happened and how they got that tech. But yeah, I don't think he needed to be in this movie at all because he didn't contribute at all to Arthur's story. He didn't really contribute. I mean, technically, he contributed to like helping Ocean Master like betray people and try and do the setup. But you could just have any old fucking goon do your setup. You know what I mean? And if anything, it works better if you don't introduce them, because then it's like all we see is the Atlantean world, and then some sub attacks them. That's much more believable. Because it's like, who is that sub? Is it the military? Is it U.S.? Is it Russian? Is it this? Is it China? We don't know who that sub is or why they attacked them. And then you introduce the politics, and you say, you show them on the screen, all this shit happened, and we fucking, when he does a retaliation strike, it's like, oh, all the seas are fucked up right now, and it's like, what's going on? Then you see the hostilities begin to build, and it's like, well, they started it, fuck them. And then as the viewer, you have no idea it's a setup, as long as it's portrayed well.
right.
And you just think it's like shitty government people who want to get Atlantean technology. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. So it makes it a lot more engaging on the viewer's end. And then all the storyline will now take place around their relationship and how they
And then you actually would kind of side with Ocean Master a little bit. You'd be like, I kind of get him. I'm getting mad at this. Yeah.
And then their relationship might be actually one where they do build a little bit, because then you can spend the whole movie developing those two a little bit more. And then it's like he's trying to teach him, like, they're like, you need to, instead of it just being, you need to stop him from waging war. Maybe they do say something like that, but then he goes and he says, brother, I've waited for you. And then he treats him well or something. Secretly, maybe he's trying to betray him or whatever. But then he teaches them some of the ways about the underwater politics, and then that's how Aquaman learns. Because at the end of this movie, he's like, I'm the king now, so what does that mean? And I'm like, dude, I know you're not joking. That's the worst part. So it would have been better for his growth as a character.
He's still a surfer, bro.
Yeah, he's still just a saw dude. So it's like, he's not the king, which makes sense. He's never supposed to be anyway. But if
that's what Mara's there for, I guess, to fill in some gaps.
Right. And Volko's still there, so
yeah, so
he's got the trusted vizier to help him. But I think
it's kind of like they did with Black Panther, where in the comics he's like a super genius and he's super powerful and he's like the smartest guy in the fucking, like, politically the smartest guy in the world. But they kind of split that amongst his girlfriend and his sister in the movie, where his sister is a super genius and his girlfriend is very smart politically. And he's not even the best, like, athletically. It's Okoye, like, as a warrior. So. And he's just a dip, like a toe dipped in each side, and he has the gift of, like, the Panther.
Right.
So
I could see that.
It gives all the characters more to do than just be like, oh, this is a one super being.
Now that makes sense, because that's kind of the structure of comics, right?
Yeah.
Most main characters did it all.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I guess that's where I was thinking when I think about Aquaman, like before. He's smart and strong and fearless and courageous and leads and does all these things. I don't expect this one to do that.
It's hard to make movies like that though.
But I would have liked him to grow towards that in this movie, I
They
guess.
could do it. It's just that it just makes you have less characters that are
Meaningful
impactful
or important.
Yeah.
No, I agree. So yeah, I don't think they should have done it such a dramatic way. But he didn't learn anything about how to be a king throughout the whole movie. It would have been a little bit better if he
Maybe
did
it's
learn
gonna be the
some
next
things.
movie. Who knows?
Yeah, and maybe that's what the next movie is about. It's about his struggles to be a king, which maybe because of that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the plot. I just know Ocean Master is potentially still gonna be in it and be like more of like, I don't know if like a helper or advisor or something.
Right, because he did say to come to me when you want to talk. He looked pissed though. I don't think he was going to do it.
Yeah.
But maybe he does. And yeah, I don't want to know nothing about it.
He brought his mom back. He should be grateful. Come on, man.
Right, and the fact that the mom's there, isn't she in charge now?
She might still be the queen of Atlantis.
Right, because she's alive, unless she just passes it along because she feels like it.
Yeah, she just gives it to Arthur. He's the one true king.
He does have the fucking sword, doesn't, or the trident. Doesn't that mean you have to be the ruler now?
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense. So he kind of has to be king now.
Yeah.
But the movie was good.
Thor always had to be king. He always just kept passing it along. He's like, nah.
That is true. Well, he wanted it first, but then he didn't get it. So then he realized he didn't want it, or he didn't need it, and he kind of grew as a character. He's a really pretty well done character. Anyway, so yeah, I guess the movie's good. Then we don't even have much. I think that's it. We kind of wrapped it up, honestly.
What would you give it?
6, but not really a 6. From a storytelling perspective, I don't know. It's hard because there's a lot of things that were very tropey and very like not. They didn't make a lot of sense, but they're not like killers. It's not like none of it was like, this movie's unwatchable, right? Or it wasn't nearly as bad, for example, as like Man vs. Steel.
I was extremely lenient with this movie. I think I give it a 6 as well.
Because I don't know. I don't want to take a lot away from it because it didn't do a lot wrong. But sometimes if it's too tropey, that is doing something wrong. Because a lot of it just felt uninspired. It was like, hey, superheroes, what do they do? All right, grab the checkbook or the checklist. All right, we got a montage. Yes. Female interest who becomes his girlfriend over time. Yes. Learning his powers over time. Yes. This everything was just like fucking checklist after checklist. So at some point I'm like, come on, you could do a bit better. But from like an enjoyable scale of did I have fun watching it? Fuck yeah, dude. Like if I would have watched this in theaters, oh baby, and that would have like added to the experience. I would have gave it like a fucking 9, maybe 8.5, if I watched it in theaters, just from like raw hype and just cool.
Yeah.
But from like a regular storytelling, more critiquing style, I think there's a lot that they could have done better. So that means they kind of got some things wrong. So I think a 6.5 is more appropriate. I think I'll give it a 6.5. Because it's definitely worse than like the prequel trilogies in Star Wars. But it's not bad. So I think a 6.5 is definitely where I'd put it.
I don't think I rated any of the Star Wars under a 6. So 6 it is. I don't know. I do find it a little more enjoyable than Clone Wars or the Attack of the Clones. So
That's funny.
I don't remember what I rated Attack of the Clones, but it had to be under 6. I'm gonna give this a 6.1.
Just to be safe.
Yeah.
For posterity's sake.
Oh shit. Whatever I give Attack of the Clones plus 0.1.
That's funny. Yeah, it is definitely. I like it, but I'm also a little biased too. I love the Aquaman character. I love the fishy stuff. You know what's funny? One thing too, this movie gets away with that you never brought up. I thought you were gonna say something. Was how he's shirtless the entire movie.
Dude's got some sick tattoos.
Well, it was just funny. Like he gets.
Also, he's not even shirtless the whole movie. He does. He wears a bunch of. I remember when he were in the desert. I was like, damn, I like that shirt. I want that shirt.
Right.
He wears that armor, that like fucking the crop top armor.
That shit was funny. The fucking crop top armor. But yeah, all his like tits and abs, all his little tits and abs scene weren't that bad.
Yeah. I jokingly talk shit about shirtless scenes with men.
I talk shit about all of them. I don't men, women. If I feel like you're just no reason tits and abs my face or tits and ass my face, no.
But that's Jason Momoa's selling point though. So he has to. That's in his contracts.
But it's in the characters like the way that he's a sea dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
imagine him to wear a shirt or anything very often because
Exactly.
he needs that. So I think it's very appropriate for his character. So I'm looking
Also, I
forward
like
to it.
his tattoos are like scales and stuff, so he's like a
Yeah.
fish.
You see, his dad had those too.
Yeah.
That was cool. I didn't notice it till the ending scene when he was like talking to his mom that like
Let's see.
his arm was there, and I saw a little bit of like the fish scales. I said, "Whoa, his dad got the tattoos for his mom. That's really cool."
But they live in Maryland. Like,
Uh,
I'm like, wait a minute. Sure. I mean, I guess it's a place that Pacific Islanders might move to. I don't know. It's completely the opposite of Pacific Islands, but
not important. He's American born. But anything else? I mean, this is a pretty short one,
Yeah, I mean the movie's kind of short. There's a lot of just montages.
right?
Did
Yeah.
you like the one shot of like the giant action scene in Italy?
Oh, when it was like they were both on both things running together, like but across the
Yeah, yeah,
city.
yeah,
Yeah, that shit was cool. I actually was wondering too when they did the one, like it was over the shoulder, like it
yeah,
was above. She was fighting. It went over to like a beyond the wall, and he was
yeah,
fighting. I said,
yeah.
"Whoa, did they really just get them to fight that perfectly in sync behind the wall, or was it
Who
fucking
knows?
cut?"
There could have been some like editing stuff.
Right. I figured it was just like they green
There could have
screened
been
him in
some
or
layered
something.
editing. I don't know.
But
Uh,
it was cool though. Yeah, that's it was really well fucking cinematography or well shot.
yeah.
All the Italy scenes.
James Wan's insane. So
I'm excited for the next one because I hope
yeah,
the next one's more like
the next one's called Lost Kingdom.
this movie just had no passion.
Mm.
There's no heart in this movie. It just didn't feel at all like the drama was like heartfelt or like a lot of effort and love was put into it. The storytelling, the characters, and I think that's why like when I think to like him and Mira's all the shit in Italy, and then I think to him and his brother scenes when the mom shows up and shit like that. Those moments where I think what the whole movie could have been, super
Yeah,
impactful and like super like wow, we're getting a lot about Atlantis. We're getting a lot about his family. We're getting a lot about his relationship. He's growing as a character because he's now trying to come to terms with these things, whether it's being a king or being half Atlantean or his mom being alive or whatever. There's so much stuff. There's so much room for growth. His brother has a whole bunch of growing to do. Obviously, Mira does because she was like marrying this guy because she believed in her family and she was only going to do it because it was the right thing to do for her kingdom. But then she
yeah,
has to grow out of that as a character. They had pretty good setups. You know, these characters were set up to be very interesting. Um, Even her dad, right? Because her dad was gonna pretty much like you see he'd betray him if he was gonna do something to hurt his daughter.
yeah.
So it's like all these characters I think had the basis for something awesome, and they just turned it into a generic action flick. Um, and that's why it's a little bit regrettable. It's why I don't want to rate the movie too low because it was good, but hopefully that's why I'm
Mhm.
thinking number two they do better. I have low expectations that they'll do better, but um, but we
uh,
shall see.
Most of the cast is coming back. It looks like his dad, his mom, the guy who played Mira's dad, which
Nice.
is Dolph Lundgren. Look, it says if IMDb might be lying to me, but I don't know. But it says Ben Affleck's gonna be in the next one. So
Oh
Batman.
shit.
Um, King Orm's gonna be in the next one. Manta's gonna be in the next one. Stingray is new.
Wait, isn't Dolph Lundgren the super tall guy who was messed out from the Expendables?
Was he in the next one? I don't know if he is. He's the guy. He's the Rocky guy. Rocky 3.
That's Mr.
He
T.
was no. Wait, was it 3 or 4 then?
Oh,
The Russian guy
Drago?
that he fights. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Um,
yeah. The
yeah, I think
blonde
that
Russian
might
guy.
be him. I think he was a
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a tall guy in Expendables.
Oh,
He was like all messed out.
the first one.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I
That's
can
also
check it.
been years since I've seen the Expendables.
Because he didn't look like the same though. So when you said the name, I'm like, it doesn't make sense.
Right? I thought he looked weird. But yeah, that's him. That's
It
yeah.
is him. Wow, he does not look. I don't know. I guess it's the haircut and it's like the way that they made him look in the Expendables. But
They
under certain
recast. They
things.
recast King Atlan. It's gonna be the guy that's playing Garp in One Piece.
Oh
Uh,
baby, I don't know who that is, but if he's playing Garp, he's gonna be good.
he was like the side guy, and the only thing I've seen him in, I think, is fuck, Troy with Brad Pitt.
I never watched it.
Oh, then never mind. That's the only thing I've seen him in.
Right. You know what I want to watch again? The Scorpion King with The Rock.
Oh God.
That movie is a
I thought
fucking
that I thought
classic.
those effects looks terrible even as a kid. Wait, no, wait. No, that was at the end of The Mummy 2. Yeah.
I want to see it, dude. I
Was
hope
that
it. I
movie
think
good?
I
I
remember
don't
it
even.
being really cool. That was like
I think
back
I
like
saw it, but I don't remember what the fuck the movie was about.
that was one of his first movies after like wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, he was still wrestling even after that.
So that was. I want
You
to
know,
go
there's
back and
people
watch it.
nowadays that don't even know The Rock is a wrestler.
And I'm not surprised.
They just they're just like The Rock. They're like he's an actor. He's a wrestler. What?
Right? I mean, well, there's literally people who genuinely were like, "Oh, they got a show about Boruto's dad."
I don't think those people were trolling, but who knows?
A lot of them are trolling, but I think there is a small portion. I'll give you 20% that actually does think that because the first thing they watched as a
high
kid.
as shit, but I wouldn't put it past some fucking people. Some
Because
of the shit I
Boruto's
hear
on
them
TV,
say.
right?
Yeah.
It will be. Naruto's not going to be on TV. It's been out of production for a long time. So the only thing they would have ever seen is that. So it's not so far out of impossibility. Same thing for like The Rock, right? They're not showing the old '90s or early 2000s Attitude Era on TV, but they're going to show like his movies.
True.
So really, we are
And he
experiencing
makes like what 3 movies a fucking year?
a fucking ton. Um,
Yeah.
so
All right. So that's it.
yep, that's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Movie's good. Go watch
Stay
it. Enjoy
tuned
it.
for I forget what's next.
Oh, I don't know. We'll figure that out. Probably
Uh,
Wonder Woman.
we already saw Wonder Woman. Oh,
No.
right, number 2.
Uh,
Oh, 1970, whatever.
right. Well, no, it's the Flash. Right? No, that's the new movie.
I don't care. Release order. I can't spell release. There we go. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh my Jeebikai. There we go. It is Shazam.
Just every story. Retrofit some Shakespearean thing into every. Wow, dude. It's just fucking Macbeth, but worse. It's just Hamlet, but worse. Really? Romeo and Juliet, but worse? Okay.
A lot of movies are just Macbeth, but worse. So
Yes. And it's hilarious, right? So you just start doing that shit on every. And that's your review, like YouTube shorts.
Or Ragnarok is just Macbeth, but instead of an evil uncle, he has an evil older sister.
Right? And that's just YouTube short reviews.
This is just Cinderella, but worse.
Yep.
If not fucking Shakespeare, I'll just do old school grim fairy tales.
Right. Just go as far back as you can.
This is just Gilgamesh, but worse. Was that one Beowulf? This is just Beowulf. I like Beowulf.
I
think I was the only person in my English class who was like interested. I just kept raising my hand. I was like, "Oh, I want to read."
Right.
God, I was a fucking nerd.
That's what you get.
I didn't look like a nerd. That's it. That's the end of this episode. I'm gonna continue
All right.
doing what I was doing.
See you guys later.
Yeah.